Hi, the High-Tech Nomad here, and I'm going to try and give you 10 things that you won't find in the other videos. Now, I have Verizon, so I was not able to get mine until, the 10th, so I've had it for about 10 days now. So, while everybody else was getting theirs, all I could do was just sit there and watch the video. So I've watched every video that's come out every day on YouTube. I have a little search that goes through and finds it. So there were 10 things that I found myself that I didn't find it in the other videos, and so I'm going to go over those with you now. Okay, not in any order of their importance, but things that good to find out, good to know. All right, so the first one I have on my list is Fitbit. Fitbit, which I have been using and lost 15 pounds. Thank you very much. Fitbit does not sync wirelessly with the Note 3. Now, they're working on it, and some things they are, some things they're not. It came as a little of a surprise to me because it does work with the S4, which has the same version of the Android operating system and has pretty much, a lot of people consider the Note 3 a big-ass S4, so I thought it should work just fine. It does not. They have confirmed that, and they are working on it. But if you are like me and just assume that it was going to work, it's not going to work. However, if you do look at, which I swore I would never use, which is S Health, because it does have a pedometer in it and it does do your pieces as well. I don't like the software as much as far as trying to figure out how many calories I have left that I can eat for the course of the day. But if you can't use Fitbit, then you got to use something else. So S Health is fine. So if you have a Fitbit and you love it, you're going to have to switch over to S Health if you want to continue on your saving regimen. Okay, number two. This has to do with, and I have both of these together because I think a lot of people, obviously if you have the Galaxy Gear, you bought this with it. So I'm going to include these together. So the second one is that not all S-Voice commands are available on the Galaxy Gear. So for example, there are things that you can do with S-Voice, say, contact this, do that, where's the nearest this, where's the nearest that. It does not do all of those. It has just a very limited set of S-Voice commands. Give that 2 clicks. There it is. And so here's what I can say. So you can call, you can redial, you can read a message, you can send a message, you can create a task or reminder, you can open up an app, and even then it's, I can open up a camera or memo. I can't say open Candy Crush or something like that. That's not going to do that. And I can do that with the normal S-Voice. So that's number two, that not all of the S-Voice commands are used on the device. Okay, number three, and this, for some of you, if you've come from another device, you may already know this one. I came from an S3, which had a older version of the Android operating system, and I went to go use the developer options so I could get rid of some of these the screen pieces, and apparently in 4.2 on, and again, if you have something like, if you're with Verizon or T-Mobile, you don't get the updates as quick, so you're not aware of this. However, if you go in, you will actually not see the developer options. You actually have to go into About Phone and then go into, which one is it? Hardware, not hardware version, build version. And you have to click it about 10 times. You'll notice that as I'm clicking it now, it says developer mode has already been turned on. If you have not done this, every time you hit it, it says you're 3 steps away from developer mode, 2 steps away from developer mode, 1 step away from developer mode. Developer mode is now on. And then at that point, you see that. And again, I didn't see that in any of the other pieces, the other videos that I saw. And like I said, I'm coming from the S3. A lot of people, if you're going to this, you probably don't have an S4. You didn't go from the S4 to this. You went from the S3 or S2, something like that. And so if you're looking for that, that's something new in the Android operating system. So you click on that, and you beat the heck out of that build number, and your developer options will show up. Again, didn't see that anywhere else. One of the other things that I didn't see a lot of people have talked about, you can search for, when you go into settings, you can search for whatever you want to go to. They say just go up top and hit there is nothing up top. What's going on? Well, what they forget to tell you, or neglect to tell you, is you actually have to turn on that mode. So while you're in settings, you actually have to come down to Options and click on Switch to Tab View. Once you do that, you will now have this search piece. It is not turned on by default. You actually have to go and turn that on. Okay. I like this for some reasons. Other reasons I do not. What it does is it puts it in this little tab mode. So if you're used to this and you say, look, I know what I'm looking for is here somewhere. I may have to drill down, but I'll find it. But if you put it in this mode, now you got to figure out which tab which thing is considered one of these, which is considered that, which is considered something else, and then you have to go from there. Okay. Next thing that is just starting to get a little bit of play, but I noticed this right away, which is Samsung Knox is not available on the Verizon version of the Note 3, and I'm now starting to read some threads on the internet that's saying that T-Mobile and Sprint also do not have it. So if you actually go in, I do use mine for work, and I went to go set it up, and I couldn't figure it out, and I kept, every tutorial I saw said, click the Knox icon and keep going from there. It's not here. It's not working. If you actually go into Applications and you go to All Applications, you will actually find that it's in there somewhere. There are actually some of the services are in there and they are running. However, they are not. It's not actually. So there's the Knox agent. There's a couple of Knox stores. So there's the Samsung Knox. So it's in here, but it's not actually. You can't access it or use it at this point in time. Even the Verizon website is now starting to admit, yes, okay, it's not there. Okay, so that's another one. Okay, another thing that might throw you off is when you start your screen, you will notice there's a little ripple effect. Okay, so you can see you have this nice little watercolor effect, but there's also supposed to be a ripple effect when you. Sorry about that. You're supposed to be a ripple effect as well as the other effect. So you've got that one. So where's the ripple effect? Well, let's go back out. Let's go to lock screen, and let's go to unlock effects, and you'll see I have none and watercolor. Now, why is that? Well, because for some bizarre reason, once you equip your phone with any kind of security, it knocks those off. If I come back to screen lock and get rid of my code, you all know my code now, so if you ever find my phone, you're all set. And I take off the unlock, so swipe is set to none, no security, and now I go to unlock effect. Hold on one second, I didn't set that. I need to set it one. Okay, I need to set it to no security. There we go. Alright, so there's no security now, and now when I go to unlock effect, now I have none, watercolor, and ripple. Okay? As soon as you put on any kind of security, for some reason, it takes that one out. Now, there are there's one new one here. You've seen all these before, the swipe. The signature, obviously, is for a note, because you can do it for a signature, which is fine. I just think it's a little silly to pull out the thing to write your signature on, but that's all right. Pattern, which obviously I've been using. PIN, password, and auto lock. If you have the Galaxy Gear and you have the Note 3, you're going to use the auto lock. What auto lock does says, as long as the Galaxy Gear is near your phone, the system is unlocked, so you never have to put in a pattern. The only time I have to put in my pattern is if I either leave this and I walk away, or I don't have my watch with me. At that point, I have to put the pattern in. But again, now that I put that pattern in, when I go back, I only have two. I have watercolor and none. So don't know what's up with that. Couple of things that I was interested in with my Galaxy Gear has to do with how does the Evernote application work with this. So everybody tells you, well, there's 70 different apps, and one of them is Evernote, and so on and so forth. But it's like, well, so what actually can I do? Well, if you go ahead and you click on it, it will connect to Evernote on your phone, and will allow you to look at things, create a checklist, do a recent one. And again, you're not going to do a lot of this on your phone. But I do normally take pictures with the Evernote camera so that I know it goes right into Evernote, and that's going to give me that capability right here, and that's fine for me. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Photo. I can choose which camera I want to use. I'm going to say this one just once. I'll take a picture. Okay, And now that's going to go ahead and go in. Now the other thing, so that's going to add it as an Evernote note, and the note's been created. The other thing that a lot of people aren't really telling you about this is that you can store the pictures either on the device, or you can tell it to automatically transfer them. I have it to automatically transfer. Well, let's just see if I can pull that note up real quick. Okay, there it is. And so there's the picture I just took. Okay, alright, so that's not too bad there. Speaking of the Galaxy Gear, I'm not sure what number we're on. Number 7? Number 8? Something like that. In any event, they're talking about there being 70 apps. I am a little concerned at this point because I did have the Sony smartwatch. There were a lot of apps for that. There were apps coming on all the time. They weren't all great apps, but at least people were creating them. Right now, I know it's only been a few weeks, but it's just the 70 apps that they released with it, and the 70 apps, you know, like 10 of them are clock faces. So it's not 70 apps. All right, let's just take a look at them real quick to see. Yeah, I've managed to load almost all of them on here. All right, so under apps, under entertainment, you have Spin the Bottle, which I can't see you using, but that's all right. A couple of little quick dice. I guess if you're playing Spin the Bottle, you might want to play dice as well. There's a radio piece, which I was a little. That's the other thing, which is this speaker on the Galaxy Gear is used for playing back sound from your pictures, playing back sound from your video, but you can't actually play. I've yet to be able to hijack the sound from my device and play it through here. Now, you may not necessarily want to, but I would actually like that feature if I was, sometimes I'm just working, I just want to hear the news, I don't want to pull my phone out, I don't want to put my headset in or whatever. If I could just actually hear the sound coming from here real quick, maybe the ball game scores or something like that, that would be fine. So I have not found a way to. So one of the apps here allows me to pick a radio station, but it plays it through my phone. The Cam 360, which I actually like. Cam 360 is, so instead of actually just taking a regular picture, this is nice, and these pictures have been coming out fantastic, the Cam 360 gives you a couple little things that you can do. So for example, they have this one called Scene, and it creates these little scenes. So here's two women pressing up against the frame here, so I can just actually go ahead and click on that. Okay, and it goes ahead and it superimposes that piece within there. Okay, and it's got some filters on it, so it is kind of cool. Now that also comes up with the whole sound. Every time you take a picture, it is going to make a sound. My understanding is that they've done that so stalkers can't be taking pictures of people. So when you take a picture, even if you have the sound turned all the way down, I'm sure that'll be one of the first apps that comes out. But I will say this, which is if you put your hand over the mic, which I've now learned to do if I'm taking a picture. Okay, so I put my hand over the mic, over the speaker, and now I can take a picture. Okay, that's with my finger over the speaker. I've learned to just put my thumb underneath and just tap it that way. Because sometimes I'm taking a picture in a store and I do it, the normal way, and everybody's looking around. It's like, what are you doing? So that's another one. Another one is using this with a headset. I was very concerned. I do have a Jawbone Bluetooth headset, and I was very concerned that I would not be able to use the three of them together, and you can. So if you initiate a call from your Jawbone, you can continue. You'll see it on the dial. You can actually hang up from here. However, it will talk directly to your Jawbone, so there's no issue with that. It's not like, okay, well, now I have this. Do I have to take every phone call through this? No, you do not. And if I initiate a call from the handset, I do not have to start talking into my watch. So that very smartly figures out which one you want to do. So let's just keep going through with this. Under the health, there's a couple of health ones. Under lifestyle, there's a couple. This one was pretty interesting. I'm not sure how to say that, Atoma for that. And what it allows you to do is set up some circumstances, specifically with the Galaxy Gear. So for example, you can say if I turn the watch like this, or I go like that back and forth, have the phone do something, which is very similar to some of the other programs like Local and things like that. Not tremendously useful, but you could actually say, okay, when I shake the wrist back and forth, I want it to launch the camera, I want it to do this, or I want it to do that. That's fine. The glimpse is great because I actually do like to send out glimpses to family and friends when I'm out going to do things, and the glimpse actually works pretty decent. Instead of me going on and setting up glimpse and starting it, I can just hit glimpse. It brings up my contacts. I hit my contact, I hit the time, and it goes ahead and does it. And that's actually a lot easier than pulling the phone out each time. The same for Life 360. I use that a lot. So I'm able to actually either just say, yes, I'm home, or in this case, it actually will display on the watch and say, you know, your wife's home, your friend's home, whatever it happens to be, however you've got it set up. So that actually is fairly decent. Let's take a look at, probably lifestyles there. So let's take a look at social networking. Haven't been able to get the Snapchat one. I would think that that's actually one that would probably be used a lot with a watch, because you could just, like, you know, take a picture and send it to a friend. Been having a lot of trouble getting that one to work, and I'm seeing some threads where other people are saying pretty much the same thing. Let's see what else we have under the utilities. Let's see, and you can see under this, they're listing the same, so they're listing the clock faces under utilities and under clock faces. I haven't actually counted them, but if they're doing that to get 70, then obviously there's way less than 70, and I'm beginning to think that that is what the case is, because there's 20 right here, so 20, I haven't actually counted them, but there's way less than 70 if they're counting them this way. Well, you can use it like this, and so that's one thing, and you can use it like that. Even things like the watch faces, I'm not 1,000% thrilled with the watch faces, only from the standpoint of that I'm not able to really customize them. So for example, I've got, you can switch them very quickly. So here's a watch face, here's one here, that's what I have. And when I go over the options, that's pretty much it. I can decide to show the date or not show the date. That's pretty much it. Some of these other ones, the only option you have is to, for example, probably this one, I can change the color, and I have a choice of 2 colors, white or orange. It's like, what's up with that? You guys couldn't take 3 more minutes and add the code so I could just pick whichever color I want. So basically I can pick between those 2 colors. So obviously, and I understand they were in a rush to get it out, but I'm just letting you know, there's not, you know, the kinds of things you'd say, you know, come on, at this day and age, I should be able to pick whichever colors that I want. I have not actually run one of these watch faces for a whole day to see if this dies any quicker. It's actually been running pretty decent. When I go to bed at night, I just pop it in the thing, and then it seems to last all day. I've yet to have it die on me during the course of the day, and I use it quite a bit. I've been using this one here so that I know I can swap down, and I'm actually getting quite used to which way I'm going to go. I do like that I can just go ahead and just click on this, get right to it, take my picture, come back out, run my S voice. And you'll notice, and see, that's like one of those ones. So I've run S voice, but it actually hasn't started. I still have to now tap that, and then I have to wait. What time is it in New York?
Current local time in New York is 10:06 p.m.
Okay, and that's another one of those things. I'm reminded of the Star Trek episode where Riker was somewhere and he was on a holodeck or something, and he kept saying, well, you know, why is everything taking so long? I'm not used to waiting this long. And same thing here. I've actually had to slow it way down. My response is because I have to wait for that ding, and then, you know, so it'll say, like, I'm ready to send this message. Is that okay with you? And I'm already saying yes before I've heard the ding. So I have to, I'm ready to send the message. Ding. Yes, send. So there is a little bit of a delay that you're going to have to get used to with that. And then the last one I have listed for now is Wake Up. Which one was Wake Up? Wake Up, Wake Up, Wake Up. I'm not sure which one that was. Oh, it must have been the S Voice Wake Up, which I thought was actually pretty cool. Let me show you how that works, and then I will actually go ahead and show you how to turn it on. Hi, Galaxy. Play playlist My Music. and then of course it will start. Okay.
Playing my music. Here's a list.
Okay. Now I just want to point that out because I couldn't find that when I first wanted to go turn that on. So let me just show you when that is, because again, that's one of those things that's not right out in the open and it's not turned on by default. But you actually have to go into S-Voice. S-Voice. Well, that would be with an S, wouldn't it? Right. Okay. So here's actually a little goofy one here, where things like S-Voice. I'm like, where is that? I can't find it. They've managed to put some of these things into folders, and you can drag them out of that folder, but you can't drag them out of the folders in the app drawer. So I actually have to go into the Samsung folder, and then I'll find everything that has to do with Samsung. So then when I go into S-Voice and go to Options and go to Settings, the voice wake up command is here. And I click on that, and then it tells me I can actually do it. And then it has another one, which is, can I wake it up even if it's in a locked mode? Which in my case, the answer I want it to be is yes. So that's one of those funny goofball things. So I think you got more than 10 there. So how do I feel? Well, I'm very happy with the size. Now, obviously, I have these huge hands. I have hands like oven mitts. All right. So for me, this is not small at all. In fact, the other ones now feel silly. I held somebody's Blackberry the other day, and it was like holding a peach in my hand or something. So this is fine. As far as the size is concerned, I love the screen. I love that it's really, really zippy fast, to say the least. Things like I use Perfectly Clear, which is a good way to touch up your photos, and you kind of had to wait for that to go through. It just flies through that now. There's absolutely no waiting for that whatsoever. So I really do like that. As far as the watch is concerned, I do like that as well. As I said, I had the Sony smartwatch. I'm now obviously using this one instead. I'm using regular mail. I'm not using Gmail, so I actually do get the notifications. I know there's been some complaints about how those show up. So I actually do get the notifications, right on my screen, so I can actually see them and read them and then respond to them or whatever. So I'm perfectly happy with that. So now, how would I rate, is it worth $300? Well, if I can't use my Fitbit and I need a pedometer, that's $100 right there. Okay, fine, I can use that with S Health. All right, I'm all right with that. Can I use it to see my notifications? Yeah, and I would pay $100 to see my notifications, so that's fine there. Then I have a decent Bluetooth headset, so I don't have to keep pulling my phone out every time I want to make a phone call. So would I pay $50 or $100 for that? Yep, that's fine. And the camera is a decent camera. And again, there was 2 or 3 instances this weekend where I needed to take a picture of something really quick, and if I had taken the time to pull out my phone, get it, put it in the camera, which, by the way, this goes in the camera very, very quick. Again, they've always said, cameras are really quick, but this is just insanely quick. As far as, saying, all right, I want to take a picture and click this. Before I'd be like, wait. Now it goes right into it. But there is a lot to say to be able to just swipe down, take a picture, and be done. Okay. So given that, even if you put those all at $50 or $75 a piece, if you're using all of those features, then yes, $300. That's fine. That's worth it. I do find it comfortable. There's no issue with that. I know some people who have wrists like little girls were complaining that if you're in between sizes, it doesn't fit. And I agree. I'm sure if you are in between sizes, I'm sure it's not as comfortable as it could be. But in general, I think it's fine. It's very sturdy. The other thing I'll add, this is a number 11, which I didn't think about until afterwards, which is this is not a phone. This is a phone. This is not a phone. What do I mean by that? You can't get insurance on this. I can get insurance on my phone, but I can't get insurance on this. You'll have to try and get insurance through a third party, and that's something to think about, because if you break this, you break the screen, or you drop it, or you get caught in a sudden rainstorm, you're going to be out $300. So I do suggest you take a look and see. There are some independent places on the web that for $30 or $40 will issue a policy on the hope that they never have to reimburse you for it, but they will do it. But just think about it. If something happens to this, you're out $300. Okay, so it's not waterproof at all. So if anything happens to it, you are out of luck. Alright, I'm going to stop now. I'm going to edit this actually on the Note 3. So when you finally end up seeing this, you'll know what I've done is taken the, I have a Sony Blogger, and I've recorded it on that chip, and I'm just going to take that chip and plug it right in. And then I actually have 5 or 6 different editing tools, and I'll actually do a video on those later on, but I'm going to actually edit it within the phone itself. And that's one of those things that's a testament to how fast it is. I've tried to do some on-the-fly editing with the S3, and it's just too slow. And now with this, it's fine. I literally could just, make it my whole production record. So I'm recording it now on a separate device because I'm doing it with this. However, when I'm going on my trips and going to different seminars and things, I'll use this to record and I'll use this to edit, and I don't think I'll have any problems whatsoever. Alright, I've just started doing these reviews and stuff again, so if you could just give me a little encouragement, just either click the like button or click subscribe. That will get me to do some more of these, and like I said, I'm doing the work so you don't have to watch every YouTube video regarding the Note 3, and the things I just told you are not on any of them. So hopefully you found some value in that, and if so, just click the like button. Okay, that's the High Tech Nomad, and I'm saying thank you very much, and I'll talk to you soon.